Assalamualaikum, selamat malam folks. Malam ini Miles mau bawain salah satu cerita picture book dari koleksi pribadi kami yang judulnya Somewhere Else, yang ditulis dan diilustrasikan oleh Gus Gordon. Some birds fly north. Some birds fly south. Some birds take the bus. Most birds go somewhere. George Lauren wasn't like most birds. George never went anywhere. Not here, not a little over here, or here, not even here. Not anywhere. I like it here better than anywhere somewhere else, he told himself. Besides, there was always something nice baking in the oven. George Lauren had a gift for baking the most astonishing pastries. Friends were always dropping by on their way to somewhere else. One morning, Penelope Thornwhistle declared, "This eclair is almost as spectacular as soaring high above the sunrise in the Andes. Let's fly there together, George. It will be a hoot." But George wasn't interested. He always had an excuse. "Not today, Penelope. I've got brownies in the oven. I think this batch will win awards." The following afternoon, Walter Greenberg popped in for some delectable apple strudel. "This apple strudel makes me think of Paris at night, dear boy. Come see it with me, George. It's truly extraordinary." "So sorry, Walter," said George. "I'd love to come, but I've got a mountain of ironing to do." The very next week, a flock of friends swooped in to sample some of George prize-winning carrot cake. "Have you seen the Alaskan tundra in the fall?" they cried. "It's like this cake. There are no words to describe its beauty." "How about whoa?" someone suggested. Whoa wasn't enough. George was going nowhere. "Sorry, I've got a yoga class that day," he said. As the season passed by, everyone stopped asking George if he wanted to go somewhere else with them. He was far too busy, it seemed. Winter arrived and George found himself alone. Except for Pascal and Bart. Pascal was searching for a warm place to spend the winter. "I wish I could fly, George," he said. "I hear the Caribbean is nice this time of year. Why aren't you somewhere else? On a beach in the sun?" "I've been busy learning flamenco songs on my guitar," said George. "But you don't own a guitar, George," said Pascal. "Actually, I've been watching the complete series of Lost in Space," said George. "But you don't have a television," said Pascal. "Well, in truth, I've been writing my memoirs," said George. "But you're only 5, said Pascal. "You haven't done anything yet." "Well, I will couldn't have gone somewhere else, said George. If only I knew how to fly. George told Pascal how on that important day, when everyone had learned to fly, he was simply doing something else. He had been making excuses not to fly ever since. It just so happened that Pascal Lombard had an uncanny knack for solving tricky problems. George, I have an uncanny knack for solving tricky problems, he announced. We are going to teach you how to fly. They wasted no time. First, they read some helpful books. That didn't work out so well. Then they got creative. That didn't go so well either. Then they ran out of good ideas. It turned out Pascal Lombard didn't have much of a knack for solving tricky problems after all. I don't think I was meant to fly, said George sadly. I'll always be a stay-at-home kind of guy. George felt disappointed. Pascal felt disappointed. They spent the afternoon quietly reading by the fire. Just as Pascal thought, maybe it was time to go. George pointed to Pascal's newspaper. What is that wonderful bubble thing? He said. And this is what they look at from Pascal's newspaper. Yes. Hot air balloon. It just so happened that Pascal Lombard was remarkably good with his hands. George, I'm remarkably good with my hands, he announced. We can build it. And so they did. It took all winters. It turned out Pascal Lombard wasn't actually very good with his hands. Finally, after some hiccups, they finally made something. Can you guess it? Yes, they made their own hot air balloon. We are flying, Pascal, said George. Yes, we are, George, said Pascal. Where shall we go? I have some ideas, smiled George. They traveled to all the places they had heard about, and some they hadn't. Paris at night really is extraordinary, said George. And as you can see, this is Paris, Eiffel Tower. Sorry, not evil, but evil Tower. And they travel from places to places. George and Pascal flew for months. The world was bigger and more exciting than they had ever imagined. But something was missing. Can you guess what is that? Well, let's find out. Yes, George hummed by. Where shall we go next winter? Said Pascal. Anywhere, somewhere else, said George. The end. So that's the story of Somewhere Else, karya dari Gus Gordon. Nah, buat moral value yang bisa kita petik dari sini, feel free to check caption kita, and kalian bisa ikut sharing storytelling bareng Dotless. So just send us a direct messenger and see you. Sampai ketemu lagi di cerita selanjutnya. Assalamualaikum. Good night folks.